So, a very good evening to all of you. So nice of you to join us, dear counselors of India. I'm so happy to be connected with you and always talking to you and learning about everything that's happening across the country, the latest trends. We live in some very desperate times, and I know that all of you are making a very big difference to the lives of your students. So, thank you so much for all the work that you do. Whether they appreciate it today or not, I know that in the years to come, your students will remember you as very key mentors who made difference in their life. So thank you for the work you do. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Neeraj Mandana, and I am an education consultant. I'm a career counselor. I'm a college guidance counselor. And I'm also the founder of the Next Genius Scholarship Program. So many moons ago, when I was a college student and I aspired to go to one of the great colleges, I applied to the University of Cambridge for my graduate school. And I was fortunate enough to be accepted. And not just accepted, but I was awarded a full tuition and a full living scholarship to attend Cambridge for my master's and my PhD. And truly, it was one of the great milestones of my life. I was so thankful to my parents, my teachers, and God for giving me that opportunity. I remember still receiving that letter of scholarship, and it was such a life changer. You know, I never thought that somebody like me, who came from a relatively uneducated and humble background, would have been accepted at Cambridge on a full scholarship to receive graduate education there. And I remember thinking at that point that maybe one day in my life, you know, if I had an opportunity, I would start some kind of a program, some kind of a scholarship program, you know, like this, the way I have benefited from it. And life works in mysterious ways, isn't it? Because a decade or so later, I ended up starting the Next Genius Foundation and the Next Genius Scholarship Program, inspired from my own personal triumphs at college. So those are the origins of the Next Genius Scholarship Program. My father and I and a small team in my office established the program in 2014. 2015 was our first year. And we haven't looked back ever since then. You know, every year the program has grown, and every year more students have applied, more colleges have joined onto the bandwagon that we set up. And at the end of the day, more students have benefited from the program, and thousands of students have interacted with us in the last 5 years. Thank you to all of you as counselors for recognizing the merit in our program and for encouraging the right kind of students to participate with us. So having said that, welcome to year number 6. This is now 2020-2021 cycle, and I'm very excited about what lies ahead. Obviously, we are in the midst of a global pandemic at the moment, but education doesn't stop. Whether you are at college or you are at home or you're somewhere else, there are tremendous opportunities to get education. I have always believed in balance of getting education from multiple sources, and college is just one of them. And we continue to offer our scholarships to students who want to go to college. And I know that many will take back the opportunities of heading to the United States on a Next Genius Scholarship as we are able to fix this current biological threat that challenges our society. So having said that, I have prepared a very brief presentation, and I hope to be rather express today. I know that you all always have lots of questions for us, and Devesh and the rest of the team do a very diligent job of answering them. So a big shout out to them, and thank you to them for all the hard work that they do. I'm very lucky to have such an inspired team working on the scholarship program with me, and really I couldn't be more thankful. So for this evening, if you have questions, please post them in the Q&A box, and I will address them at the end of the presentation. All right, so here we go. Welcome to the Next Genius Scholarship Program 2020-2021. I thought it would be judicious to begin with a summary. a report card of sorts of what we have been able to achieve in the last 5 years and the impact that we've had in the last 5 years. So point number one I have on that front is there are today 117 next genius scholars studying at colleges across the United States. Now, quite honestly, if you ask me, is that the number you had envisioned when you started Next Genius? I would say no, I had no idea what it was going to be. But I'm very grateful that it has reached that number, and I am confident that it will continue to grow in the future. We have seen year-on-year growth, both in terms of number of colleges that have partnered with us and offering scholarships to outstanding students from our country, as well as counselors who have seen merit in our program and recommended us to the students. So today, 117 scholars, and they come from 88 unique schools across the country, and even some of them from just outside India. The breakup across the gender is 58 girls and 59 boys. It used to be a little bit more girl heavy in the earlier years, but the boys seem to have caught on. And right now we have a pretty good balance between the gender. We hope to continue maintaining that balance between boys and girls as we go forward. In terms of where our students come from, that 117 can be broken up into 75 from the metro cities, Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta. I would include Bangalore and Chennai. 23 from tier 1 towns, so Pune, Ahmedabad, Jaipur, Lucknow, etc. 19 are from tier 2 towns, tier 3 towns, or from even rural backgrounds. You know, that has been, I think, one of the great achievements. And 4 are Indians living abroad, Middle East, Thailand, and Singapore. So students are applying to us from outside India as well. We are seeing that number rise year on year. In terms of the split of the high school curriculum, 66 have come from international school curriculum, so IB schools and A-level schools and American high school diploma, and 51 have come from Indian curriculum schools. Our average tuition scholarship, and let me reiterate, tuition scholarship, because Next Genius scholarships are all about the tuition only and not necessarily the living component. It's the average comes to $40,500, and that's the average. So you can imagine that half the scholarships are above $40,500 per year, and the other half are below. So therefore, the average is $40,500. And we are very proud of this number. We are always trying to increase this number so that the students can benefit the maximum. In terms of what our scholars are studying at college right now, the number one major is definitely computer science, followed by engineering. So those STEM students. That is then followed by students who say they are interested in business and economics and pursuing those majors, which is then followed by the humanities, psychology and English tend to be the most popular, and that is then followed by math and biology. So those are the hottest majors with Next Genius scholars. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you, a report card of sorts before we go ahead. For the year 2020-2021, we have partnered with these colleges. So Beloit College, Ithaca College, Juniata College, Knox, Lynn University, Millsaps College, Muhlenberg College, Swanee, the University of the South, TCU from Fort Knox in Texas, Wheaton College in Massachusetts, Union College in upstate New York, Ohio Wesleyan University, Northwestern University in Qatar, and Syracuse University in upstate New York. So those are the partner colleges we have. Those are the institutions who continue to have faith in us, identifying extraordinary students and awarding them full tuition scholarships, almost full tuition scholarships, and also a handful of partial scholarships, along with acceptance letters. So that's the very unique feature of our scholarship program, that it, quote unquote, guarantees you admission, at the same time giving you scholarship as well. So moving along, if you ask me, and counselors always ask us, what is the eligibility and selection criteria? What are you looking for? So I want to tell you two things. The first thing is eligibility. Our program is for students who are currently entering grade 12. So when they submit their applications this December to these colleges, they should be in grade 12, or they should be high school seniors, or they should be students who are on their gap year. So that is the first thing I want to tell you, that the eligibility criteria number one is either they should be at high school as a senior in grade 12, or they should be in a gap year. Additionally, I also want to tell you that our program is open to Indian citizens, both who are living in India and across the world, as well as citizens of other countries who are registered and studying at a high school in India. So every year we get applications and shortlist citizens of the world who are living in India, and we are very much interested in expanding the conversation with them. They definitely have a connect with this country, and we are very happy to have them on our platform. So that, in a nutshell, is the eligibility criteria. So I know many a times we get applications from grade 11 kids and grade 10 kids thinking that maybe they can score a scholarship in earlier years. Not the case. Please do not tell them to apply to us. So that's the first thing I wanted to tell you over here. The second thing I wanted to tell you is fivefold. So what are we looking for? And this, to me, is the most important thing that I have to say today. A great next genius scholar displays 5 qualities. So as all of you as counselors, as you look at the students you are working with, please look out for these 5 qualities. Number 1, we want them to be good critical thinkers, which basically is a fancy way of saying that they should be logical. Number 2, we are looking for people who are very good creative problem solvers. So not necessarily textbook problem solving, but even real world problem solving. And those who are perhaps even academic as well as practical thinkers. So we are looking for creative problem solvers who are able to think out of the box. We are constantly assessing the students who apply to us on both of those parameters. The third thing we are looking for is students who are able to present a personal vision. So students, and of course a personal vision can change, definitely. I think I am a prime example, and if you ask me at the age of 15 what I wanted to do, and now at 38 what I'm doing is very different. But if you asked me at 15, I had a vision, and that is what matters. You know, a lot of studies have shown that those people who have a vision, some vision at an earlier age, are more likely to be successful later in life. So this is a very important parameter that we're looking for. Are the students able to project a personal vision for what they want to do in their life, with their career, or how they want to add value to society and others around them? So that's number 3. Number 4 is the soft skill. We're looking for confidence. These are students we are interviewing. These are students we are seeing how they conduct themselves, carry themselves in groups of other students, interacting with us, interacting with admissions. We are looking for students who are confident, who display that confidence, and charisma. So charisma is one of those beautiful subjective words, but we are looking for it in our own special way. And the last thing we are looking for is fit with our partner colleges. And in some ways, I would say the last one overshadows everything else we are doing, because we might find a truly outstanding student, but they may not be a fit into a certain college that they are interested for one reason or the other. And therefore, we are not able to shortlist that student for that college, for example. So as you look at your students, please reflect on these 5 criteria: critical thinking, creative problem solving, personal vision, confidence and charisma, and college fit. All right. So having said that, I want to give you an insight into the selection timeline and process. We have tweaked things a little bit this year, so please listen carefully. Our application is now open. It is an online application, very simple. Just go to our website, next-genius.com, and create an account. A student has to do this, and we will close applications on October 10 of this year. It's July 1 today, and students have a lot of time to apply. But the thing that we have changed this year, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it later, is that we are going to give priority to those students who apply early and demonstrate interest to our program. Okay, so encourage the right kind of kids to apply early. So application is online, it is open. The moment they apply, they get an account. there will be an online critical thinking assessment waiting for them. And I would encourage the students to take it as soon as possible, because the earlier they take it, the earlier we are able to shortlist them. What are we shortlisting them for? We are going to conduct a series of multi-mini interviews with them between August 15th and October 15th. And what is the nature of this multi-mini interview? I would say that it's a three-pronged approach from our side. Number one is somebody from our team will conduct a short interview with them online. Number two is we will be asking students to write college essays. And number three, Next Genius scholars are going to be interviewing these prospective Next Genius scholars. And all of that is going to be happening between August 15th and October 15th. So that is step number three. At the end of which, the student who has been shortlisted, who has gone through the critical thinking test, the multi-mini interviews, finally should be able to identify up to 3 colleges from our milieu and our mix that they are interested in. And they will tell us the college of their choice by October 15th. They then have between October 15th to November 15th to December 15th to submit their completed college application. And please let me reiterate, completed college applications, which means that they should have submitted their online application. You as counselors should have submitted your recommendation, their transcripts. Teachers should have submitted their recommendation letters, as well as the students should have completed their financial aid paperwork. Okay, so we will provide a tick list for every college, but we expect and will only take those students who complete their entire college application by December 15th to the final round, which is in end of January, which is a group interview with the admission officer from that respective college. And that is the final linchpin, that is the final piece of the pie. And after that, we decide our scholars. All right, as we go ahead, I want to give you a sense for how the program has been selected in the previous year. This is the 2019-20 cycle, which we have just completed. So we received just above 5,500 applications from high school seniors and gap year students. Out of that, 4,700 plus completed our online critical thinking assessment. From that cohort, we then shortlisted about 800 students based on their testing and their profile, and we invited them to shortlist a college of their choice. From that list, we saw that 500 something students remained back and completed and submitted their college applications by December 15th. And in the second half of January, earlier this year, we were able to interview just about, I think if I remember the number, it was 335 students who came to Mumbai and interviewed with us. At the end of the weekend, we awarded 100 scholarships. And currently, despite coronavirus, we have 42 scholars who are beginning their college this fall, many online, and many who will be starting in, hopefully in January on campus. So that is the funnel. You can see that, roughly, just under 1% of our applicants eventually get the scholarship. So I'm ashamed of this. I wish we had more scholarships. And I would say that while this looks relatively scary, I don't think so. A student who is a good fit, and I spoke about those 5 parameters earlier, needs to worry. I think a student who is a good fit is probably going to make it to the final cut, probably going to make it to that online college application. We only see that drop from 500 to 300, actually, because it was, I think if I remember correctly, the IIT JEE assessments were also happening the same weekend, and therefore a whole barrage of students dropped out of the interview. Otherwise, I think we would have had almost 500 students coming to Mumbai for the interview. So, as a counselor, I would encourage you to think about fit into our program. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some other changes we have made and help you think about who is the right kind of student. So first thing, look at those 5 parameters that I showed you. Create critical thinking, good logical thinker, good problem solver, somebody who has a vision, confident and charismatic, and who knows which college they want to go to. Because very frequently we see a skew towards certain colleges just because they are a highly ranked college. Whereas when we interview the student, we realize that they are probably a better fit for another college, but because they haven't heard of that other college, or they don't think highly of the ranking, they don't go to that college. And their notions are very frequently changed because of connecting with our scholars on those campuses. So let me move on and talk about the big changes that we have this year. I already spoke about how we are offering first come, first serve. But number one big change into the Next Genius program this year is, I spoke about 5 parameters, and let me add a 6th parameter this year: demonstrated interest. We are now going to be very big on a student demonstrating their interest and desire for a Next Genius scholarship. How much they connected with us online, phone calls, emails, WhatsApp, social media, etc. How they connected with us as we conducted webinars such as this, as well as later in the year, hopefully, when we travel across the country and present at the respective schools. We are going to be measuring how the school has connected with us on behalf of that student, and how the counselors have connected with us in endorsing certain applicants. We will definitely take that into consideration. I know that all of you are always very excited by sending us some of your best. I always get slightly concerned about that, because what we always find is students who are the best in the school in terms of academic performance, at least, and those of you who are sending us students that are sort of 1500 plus SAT and top of the academic curve, etc. What we find is many a times these students are also applying to other highly selective institutions. And in the end, they either are not happy with the scholarship that they have received, or even if they have received a full tuition scholarship, etc., they are not accepting these scholarships and moving on to Ivy Leagues, etc. So although it's been a fantastic experience for them to participate in the Next Genius program, they treated it like a backup, So we are going to be measuring demonstrated interest as component number 6 in order to identify the students who display those 5 qualities and consider us as a high priority within their college application subset. Okay, so I would encourage all the counselors to make a special note of this one. The students who you think are a good fit, and those of you who think that, okay, we are a high priority for them, highly encourage them to apply. They're very likely to make it to the last round. All right, so that is change number 1. Change number 2 is what we internally in-house call first come, first serve. And we are only going to be shortlisting a certain subset of prospective scholars for every college. And we will definitely give priority to those students who show those 6 qualities and those who apply early to us in the application cycle. Obviously, coming first is an example of demonstrated interest. Many colleges in the US, for example, have an early decision or an early action round, and those who apply earlier have likelihood of getting in. And I would say that we are going to very much follow this policy strongly. Preference will be given to those who apply first, complete the assessment, complete the multi-mini interview. Those students are definitely going to get a priority. The third thing I want to talk about is the multi-mini interview. I spoke briefly about it earlier. I can briefly touch on it. Number 1, an interview, a short online interview with a Next Genius team member. If coronavirus permits us and we are traveling and visiting schools around the country, we will do them in your city. We definitely love it when we can meet people in person. Number 2, a video essay, and an essay topic will be provided to the students. They will have to record a video and submit it to us. Number 3, interaction with the prospective Next Genius scholar with the current Next Genius scholar. So we are definitely taking their feedback into our assessment as well. of how this prospective scholar fits into our program and our alumni family. All right, then the next point I want to highlight for all of you is that, and this is a moment of great pride and happiness. We began the program in 2014-15, and we have our first set of graduates. So, I very much applaud these students. They have done so well. Colleges always tell us that next genius scholars are switched on. They are active members of their community. They do very well academically. They take part in all the extracurriculars, so many extracurriculars on campus, and they keep in touch with their students and admissions and college presidents, etc. So a big hooray for Anushka Agarwal from Dhirubhai Ambani International School, who graduated with psychology and economics double major at Wheaton College. And I'm also happy to report that despite the given current conditions, she has a job in Boston working in education. The second student who graduated is Rishal Seth, and he is from Jamnabai Nursery School in Mumbai. And he, along with Anushka, graduated from Wheaton College. And he is a very interesting student. He designed his own major in quantitative finance. Wheaton did not have a major like this, and he worked with his professors and other faculty members to put it together, including one semester where he worked in industry. And that semester where he worked in industry, finally they offered him a full-time job. So he's now working in a fintech company, a large fintech company in Boston. So cannot tell you how proud I feel of both of these students. They are definitely the torchbearers for our program, and they will be leading our alumni engagement series as we go forward. We have this cascade relationship within Next Genius. You heard me talk about how we are going to get our current Next Genius scholars to interview prospective students. Similarly, our Next Genius alumni or Next Genius graduates are going to be now starting a leadership series online for our current students at college, where they will be inviting prominent leadership coaches and industry heads and academics to impart wisdom about what it means to be a leader. The third one I'm really proud of, and she's really special, is because she did not take 4 years to graduate like Anushka and Rishal. She only took 3 years. Twyla Barkakoti came to us from Guwahati, from Faculty Higher Secondary School, and I still distinctly remember the day, that interview room and that award ceremony where we handed a certificate to Twyla. And I can't believe that 3 years have gone by, more than 3 years have gone by. And she has graduated with a degree in psychology from Beloit College. And so proud to learn from her recently that she's applying to the absolutely top colleges in the US for a PhD in psychology. So I cannot tell you, it's the full circle. I set up this program 5 years ago, and to see students graduate and succeed, and these are the only the first steps that they are taking, it is extremely satisfying for me and the entire Next Genius team. All of this would not have been possible without the support of your schools and you as counselors. So again, a very big thank you to all of you, and I'm happy to answer any questions at this point that you have about the program. Please put them in the Q&A box. I can see that there are questions coming in, so let me take them one by one. Will you visit DPS Ranchi? I am not sure if we are visiting DPS Ranchi this year. We would love to. If you invite us, definitely somebody from our team will put it on their route map. At the moment, all travel is frozen in our office, and we have substituted it with conducting online webinars. So I cannot give you a specific answer to that at the moment. Another question is, how do I prepare for the interview? What type of questions should I expect? There are 4 types of interviews that I spoke about. 3 are multi-mini interview, and the last one is interview with the admission officers of that respective college. We always mix things up every year. It's where is the fun? If you can prepare for an interview and show up. So let me give you a half answer. Let me not give you a full answer. The first one is going to be an interview with a team member, and we are going to be focusing on getting to know you beyond the paper. The second one is going to be a video essay where we expect you to answer a prompt that we sent you, and we will be assessing your communication skills, confidence, charisma, personal vision. The third one is going to be an interview with a current next genius scholar who is at college. That one will focus on college fit and how she or he sees you fitting into college and how they see you as being ready for college. Okay, college readiness is one of the very important parameters for us, and this feedback that we get from students is very useful. And I'm glad that in the last 5 years we have managed to build that as a component into our assessment. And the last one is with admission officers. Expect the unexpected. How can you prepare for an interview? I would say the best tip I have for you is answer only after thinking carefully. 2, don't lie, be honest, put your best foot forward. Number 3, prepare your resume and be ready to go to components of that resume as you are asked questions. Number 4, do college research properly. You should know why you're applying to that college, why that college is a good fit for you, what your vision is when you're a student there, how you're going to interact with the next genius community. And the last one I would say is something that will help you do better in the interviews: connect with the next genius team. Okay, so those are 5 simple answers I have for you on how to prepare for the interviews, with the cheeky quote that only half prepare. So, just give me 1 second. From home, the kids wanted to have a chat with me. So, next question: is the scholarship only available for students who are applying to one of your partner colleges or any college? It is only for the partner colleges that are listed on our website. Do we have complete scholarships as well? I believe you're asking me about tuition plus living costs. Our scholarships only cover the tuition component. We work with certain financial institutions to provide low interest loans to our scholars. We work with certain donors who are able to award you an additional scholarship on top of what the colleges have awarded you. We work with the shortlisted students in helping them plan financially on how they can manage their costs at college, including a whole series of suggestions. So I think, our interest is, once we have identified a student and once we have awarded a next genius scholarship to somebody, this is somebody who's very much impressed us and the college. We want to see you going to college. We want to empower you. And we employ various methods in order to make that possible. Sometimes it's possible for some scholars. For some scholars, it is not possible. Even I have seen students request a gap year and say, can we arrange the funds in the next 1 year and maybe we can come back a following year. So we are open to having those discussions. Okay. Another question is, if a student wins and then IB grades fall significantly in the final, will the college cancel the scholarship? This is a possibility, definitely. I think if there is an extremely significant drop in grades, whether it's IB or anything else, we will definitely reconsider your admission as well as scholarship. And this is context dependent. So, how great is the fall? What is the reason? We will analyze that before any offers are rescinded. But definitely this is something that people will take seriously. Are standardized tests still a requirement for 2020-21 application cycle? So, Next Genius has never been very big on SAT and ACT subject testing APs. And it was only for specific majors, specific colleges that we required you to take standardized tests. And I'm happy to say that this year, none of our institutions, partner institutions, require you to take any standardized testing of any kind, which only goes on to say that other pieces of your application are going to become more important. Are the students going to face all the 3 interview rounds? Absolutely. The students are going to face all 4 interviews, 3 multi-mini and the 1 with admission officers. So there are going to be 4 admission interviews before you are awarded a scholarship. How do we connect with Next Genius team? That's a great question. I think you can visit our website. There are phone numbers present there. The best way to get in touch with Next Genius would be to apply to Next Genius, because the moment you apply and you have filled out your profile, we know a little something about you, and somebody from team Next Genius will get in touch with you, and you will have a single point of contact within the team. If you have not applied, then you can simply go to our website and find out the phone number and our help desk email ID and shoot an email or give a call. It is difficult for counselors to know how committed an applicant is if they're also applying to top universities and happen to get an offer, for example, at an Ivy League, as you said. Don't know how to really figure that one out ahead of time. Any suggestions? Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. And I believe that's a dilemma that you would face in an otherwise, anyways, busy time. So I think put the list of colleges in front of your students and say, would you like a full tuition scholarship or a partial scholarship at any of these colleges? Help them research those colleges. And if they come back to you and say, well, that one looked, or that one and that one looked interesting, then great. Now, whether that college is backup, middle, dream, nobody will know. But I think as a counselor, you will have a sense of where that college lies in the spectrum of risk for that student. And I would say that as a school counselor, you will also have a sense of their grades, testing scores, and you will know, given the average school grades, standardized testing scores and profiles, how well a student like that would fit into the range of students that some of our partner colleges are typically admitting. I would love for you to get in touch with Devesh Rathi for an extended conversation on this. You know, this is, I think this is probably going to be one of the most important factors this year. And those students who have done better research and registered early and have had more conversations with us are more likely to go ahead. So I hope that answers your question to some extent, although I agree with you, it's not completely possible to know beforehand. Will the video essay be on the spot like an extempore, or will the topic be given beforehand? It will be on the spot extempore, so it's going to be fun. Are extracurriculars considered as well? Absolutely, extracurriculars are going to be considered in your application. We will definitely look at them. Choosing any college is in your hand? Absolutely. So we will try to give you the #1 college of your choice based on those 6 parameters and how early you applied to us. We always do this. We try to give a preference to the students who are a better fit for that institution and who have demonstrated a strong interest in that institution and put that institution down as that is their 1. And if we cannot give you 1, we will give you 2. If we cannot give you 2, we will give you 3. And at the end of the day, it is up to you if you want to accept a certain college or not. And so we always see some students drop out of the process when we couldn't give them the #1 college of their preference. And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality. Now, having said that, we will try to give you your #1. Apply early, demonstrate a strong fit into our program, get all the basics right, and I think you will be advantaged. Will SAT have an advantage? I think that's true. You know, if for students who have given the SAT, it's another data point. So unless it's a data point that is harming your application, in my experience, most of the time giving the SAT, having a respectable score, above average score is always a bonus. How will college fit be judged? Oh my God, this could be another entire presentation. And I think in the weeks to come, we will be talking a lot about this. So please watch out for the additional webinars that we have planned. Admission officers will be coming to talk to you. Next senior scholars will be coming to talk to you. And I think by listening to them, you and your students will get a good sense of, is this college really for me, both in the classroom, outside the classroom, and how it's going to empower me towards the vision that I have. Do IB students have an advantage over students studying under other curriculums, example ISC? I don't think so, at all. I always am impressed so much with Indian curriculum kids, the backgrounds that they are coming from, how they have battled challenges. Your typical IB students tends to come from privilege, and that has its own set of challenges, and we love to see how those kids have battled those challenges. Indian curriculum kids, we remain equally interested in you. I absolutely deny that IB students have any advantage over Indian curriculum students within the next Genius Scholarship Program. And the last question is, even though we are highly interested, there is always a possibility of rejection or insufficient scholarship. So to be safer, it becomes obligatory for us to apply to other colleges as well. Absolutely. So I don't expect students to only apply to next Genius colleges. I expect they will be applying to multiple opportunities which serve their best interests, and that is what they should do. However, we are interested in students who are able to demonstrate those 6 qualities. So demonstrated interest is the new one. If you are committed to one of our partner colleges and the scholarship program, and you can demonstrate that, we are measuring that. So while you will continue applying to other colleges and get acceptances from many, and then finally decide which one you want to go to, we always find students who demonstrate stronger engagement with us throughout the application cycle, throughout the assessment cycle, enroll with us. It's a great waste, of everybody's time, yours and ours and the colleges, to have students come into the program, and truly extraordinary students, and I see them every year come into the program, who at the end of it don't accept that full tuition scholarship, because while they're thinking about their best interest, they're also stopping somebody else from getting a full tuition scholarship. So we have to think about everybody, and therefore the demonstrated interest piece is going to be even more important starting this year. More questions coming in. Is the scholarship funding through the university and the foundation both? I would say primarily the scholarships are funded by colleges. We are able to provide top-up funds because of certain donors that we work with. What is the best foot forward in the last interview? I think that is a conversation to be had once you have completed the test and been shortlisted, and then you have been in touch with us. There will be a lot of tips, tricks, suggestions on how to do well in a personal interview with admission office. All right, so I think that's the end. It's 7:17. I believe I have taken about 45 minutes to do the session and answer all the questions. Thank you so much to all of you for attending today, and thank you for all your support. It is really a privilege to work with all of you and visit all your schools for me and my team, and having so many of you as friends. And I wish all of you good luck and safe living during the next few months. So thank you, and please continue to stay in touch with us.